My name is Daniel Posney, and this is called Shifting Perspectives. This morning, the topic is about when all else fails, and drastic times call for drastic measures. I want to let you know about a online Call in Your Soulmate happening next month on the 14th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. I just got done doing an in-person Call in Your Soulmate, and it was awesome, but we needed more time to kind of go over things with each person. And I couldn't imagine going over all the things that we needed to go over with the amount of time that we had with more people. So online is going to be 3 hours, and it's going to be $88 starting at 2 p.m. in the Arizona time. So just remember that Arizona time, we don't do the time change. So you're going to have to look that up. You can look it up at time.is, and that'll show you the different time zones. So let's get into this. Drastic times call for drastic measures. The ancient Toltecs, which are like the Aztecs and the Mayans, the old ancient culture, and Dr. Joe Dispenza both talked about unlearning certain traits, changing our normal everyday habits, and our personal reality, which becomes our personality, in order to affect positive changes in our life. And what the Toltecs used to say is, change your normal everyday patterns. Like instead of getting up and right away getting on your computer or taking a shower or making breakfast, switch things up. And I know that I have a little bit of that pattern. First thing I get up, I take a shower, I go to the other room, But to kind of do some little change that takes you out of that normal pattern will kind of cause your neurons in your brain to fire differently. And what's happened in the past, according to Joe Dispenza and other people that study this, is that our neurons fire in a known way, which gives us the same feelings in our body, which causes the same responses, which causes the same reality to show up. So if we want something different than what we're getting, we need to kind of change that up a little bit so we get out of that known behavior, which becomes our personality and our personal reality. So this is what I want to talk about. And part of this is I have a choice. Either I realize that I haven't really done the thing that will shift my reality or, give me what I want, or I'm actually happy being where I'm at, even if it's not a perfect way, that I'm okay with this imperfect experience. And I know that I've kind of played both of that in my life, that even though maybe my finances weren't great, or my car needed work or whatever, that I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with my life, that I don't need to fix everything that goes wrong, or I don't need to have every imperfection perfected, kind of thing. But then there are certain times when I go, okay, there's something about my life that I'd like to kind of bring up to the higher level. And I've tried this and I've tried that. But so many times with myself and with other people, I realize that we really haven't tried those things that we secretly know would shift our reality. And that's the part that I really want to emphasize on. It's not that, so let me back up. It's not that the reason why I gave up alcohol and meat January 1st, I did have a glass of wine the other night. It's not that I'm doing that because the amount of alcohol and meat that I eat is detrimental to me. It's very small. But I wanted to shift into the reality that would show up when I didn't drink alcohol and meat. It's not that the alcohol and meat that I was eating was so bad. It's just that I wanted to shift myself by changing the neurons in my brain so that I would be in a different reality. You get that? So some of the things that we do, it's not just so that we'll change the reality that we're in to be a better reality. It's so that we actually shift into a different reality. So when my wife Valerie was diagnosed with breast cancer, I had an event And we invited in the community and friends and family and people to be there. And it was beautiful. And one of the things that I said was, we're all not, we're showing up here in love and healing, but we're not here to heal Valerie. That's not, I mean, I'm not giving you that responsibility. That responsibility is on Valerie for her own healing, to see what she wants to shift. But what I'd like to do is that I want to invite you to, as we're doing this sound healing and meditation and singing and praying and meditating, all these different things, not so that we're causing the healing in Valerie, but so what if we shifted ourselves into a different reality, a reality where Valerie is healed? That was so cool. It was so empowering and powerful to even think about. So that's kind of the theme of this, is that when all else fails and you've been trying to change the physical reality, what if you changed something differently, that you accepted something so radical that you cause yourself to be in a different reality? So if you study quantum physics and quantum reality, you'll come across this idea that there are multiple millions and billions and trillions of realities all existing all at the same time. And there's not really a past life, there's a parallel life all happening in the now moment. So if you realize that time is a made up construct, then everything, the past, the future, everything is happening now. There's no before and after thing going on. If that's the case, then how can I shift myself, my consciousness, my awareness into a new reality? And everything that I've ever done, everything you've ever done has been happening in this now moment. But we talk about the past and the future by conceptualizing and memorizing the feelings, which all happen in the now moment. When I'm thinking about the past, I'm now thinking about the past, which is a memory that happened in the now. So anyway, what if we accepted, we realized that there was something that I wasn't fully engaging in, an idea, a belief, a concept that would put me into a different reality. So I'll continue on. So what is it, that thing that I haven't done to affect the change that I want to see? It's different for everyone. For me, I can live kind of radically sometimes. I've tried some, pretty out there experiences and plant ceremonies and travel. And, for someone that doesn't, has a resistance to authority, I was in the military, just uh, instead of resisting something, I actually go into it. And that's kind of been my thing, is instead of running away from something where my mind says, don't do that, I go, what if I just did that? So, I've used black salve to heal skin cancer in my body. I've done water fasting for 9 days. Valerie's done it for 21 days. I've done rites of passage. I've been in a cave for 3 days with just water and a drum. I've done a 2,000-mile bicycle journey. I've done a 3,000-mile motorcycle journey and camping in March. I've lied in a coffin. I practice unconditional love as much as possible. I've experienced 5-MeO DMT, toad medicine. And just so I'm clear, I'm not promoting any of these things, and some of them are not necessarily legal. So I'm not promoting this. It's just kind of being upfront with the things that I've kind of radically accepted and experienced. For me, it's fun, and I kind of lived life on the edge in that way. And I know that I made my mom, very uncomfortable with the way that I didn't live a more of a structured, grounded life. I needed to lose myself to find myself. But for me, that's, at least this life, that's apparently what I wanted to experience. So for me, I started asking myself, if I want to experience something differently on a higher level, for me, what is the thing that I haven't done to affect change that I wish to see? So my thing has been, releasing control in a big way. And some of that comes in through plant ceremony, some of that comes through meditation, breath work, sweat lodge, different things. So there's a song out there, and I posted the YouTube link for it, and it goes, I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And you could play with that and just change it to whatever you want, but it's a song that just kind of repeats this. I release control. And it's been one of the songs that I've used in breathwork. And if you listen to that and you start singing that, something comes over you. Like maybe there's some deeper release that I could do. So, what else could be something radical that you could do? Like if you're, so again, maybe practicing yoga or meditation or qigong isn't going to cause you to get the job that you want, or maybe it's not going to heal your acid reflux directly. But what if that thing that you do, that you start to practice, puts you into the reality that you are the person that practices that and has that consciousness, which puts you into the reality that that thing that you're looking for is more available to you. So stop thinking. I invite you to stop thinking that this particular qigong or yoga or meditation or giving up alcohol or whatever the thing is, or not to eat fish or whatever that thing is not going to be that. It's this logical, makes sense to you do this and it'll affect this change. Stop thinking like that. Open yourself up to that you're an amazing being that exists in multiple realities, and you're putting yourself into closer proximity to that reality. Like there's this movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. And there's a funny concept in there that when they need to know all martial arts for this to save their life, they need to do something so drastic, like cut every finger with a paper cut, which causes them to engage into a stream of consciousness in the reality that they know martial arts. They need to pull off some chewed bubble gum out of underneath the desk and eat it, which is so drastic, which causes their mind to become distracted to allow them to go into that reality. It's just a very unique concept, and they do some pretty crazy things to put themselves into that reality. That's kind of what I'm talking about, is what is the most drastic thing that I could engage in? And I'm not talking about anything unhealthy or illegal or anything. I'm just talking about something different that would change the habits of my personality, that would change my beliefs. So one of the things that would be really drastic for me is what if I engaged in a qigong that put me into a different consciousness of healing that really caused me to be present? What if I did some yoga that I moved through every pose very slowly for an extended period of time? What if I engaged in a meditation that would bring me in touch with my own death? Like, what would that really be like if I knew that my death was coming, if I really allowed that? In fact, let's just kind of take a moment. There would be some things that would be the most important thing would be really being present right now and really feeling the effect that you've had on the world, that your time in the world is coming to an end, at least in this body. And you'd have to look honestly at the positive effect that you've had on the world, the love that you brought to the world, that the reality of your beingness, not the bullshit idea that your mind has been giving you, that you are an amazing, amazing being of love. And you'd have to accept that. And you'd have to drop away all those things that you were worried about, that you kept with you, that you're not worthy, you're not lovable. Like, here it is, you'd have to let all that go. So another thing that you could do that would be so radical, at the possibility that you might really piss off some people, what if you accepted that you are nothing but Christ consciousness? What if you decided that every morning for 5 minutes you would sit as Christ? That's radical. Who would you piss off? You would probably, if anyone knew about it, if you decided to tell anyone, you might piss off some people that you thought were your friends or family and stuff like that. But would you piss off God? Would you piss off Christ? You'd have to look at that. What if you decide to do it anyway, and just in your heart of hearts, you close your eyes, and for 5 minutes you decided to, because you could, because you had that ability, you had that permission. No one took that away from you, that you sat in as Christ. And you imagine what that would be like. Not a person, but as a consciousness. Not as an egoic thing, just allowing everything that isn't Christ consciousness to fall away. Now you're getting somewhere. Now you're getting somewhere into deep healing. And that, the little bit that I was able to read about the Course of Miracles, it's pretty deep book. And for me, it was kind of hard to keep reading because it's really far out there. But one of the concepts was sort of like, if you have an illness or a disease, there's something out of alignment with your relationship with Christ consciousness or with God. And to really accept that, to really, really accept that relationship, all healing would happen instantaneously. And if it's not happening, that there's a block in your agreement with your relationship with that consciousness. And we choose that. We choose not to sit in as that Christ consciousness. So that's kind of what goes into me when I start realizing, what if it took drastic measures? What if I finally accepted not me, the person, not my egoic self, but who I really am? That would be drastic. That would be so radical. So, closing my eyes, taking a deep breath. I show up as the light of consciousness, at least for this moment right now. I accept, I allow, I embrace that realization and that reality. Every time my mind comes up with some resistance, that who do you think you are kind of thing, I let that go lovingly. All I'm doing is I'm just sitting here in that light. And I start to feel my heart expand. I start to feel this reality come in. And it starts to make my eyes water. My breath changes. And I give myself permission to be so close with that Christ, with the Christ consciousness, which could be Buddha, could be Jesus, could be Muhammad, could be anything that is that consciousness. And then to what we call God. And it's so amazing. It brings a smile to my face and opens my heart even more that I've always had that ability. The only thing that's kept it from me is thought, is a belief. But in any moment, I could engage in that. That must be beauty. That must be reality. If within 10 seconds, I could allow myself to accept that, to allow that, to bring that into me. And that concept that we're closing our eyes to right now and allowing is something that has been religionized. Allow Jesus into your heart. Well, what you're really doing is you're allowing yourself to sit in Christ consciousness. I know it's radical. But what if we did? Sometimes drastic events take drastic measures. Sometimes when all else fails, we move beyond even church, even religion, even any middleman. And we allow the greatest love. We allow ourselves to be in alignment with that greatest love. Beyond the physical, beyond the body, beyond anything that we can understand. Wow. That becomes the most important thing. You're going to get it anyway when you die, from what I understand. What if you did it now? So if you've tried everything, supposedly, what if you tried that thing that you don't give yourself permission to do? What if that healing that you're looking for from some modality or some medicine or some drug or something, have you tried everything? Have you tried praying not to something outside of yourself? Have you tried meditating with love? Have you tried yoga with no religion attached to it? Have you tried qigong? Have you tried jumping up and down, rolling on the floor, becoming a kid again? There are so many things. We say we've tried everything. Have you tried letting go of the story that you've tried everything? I love you. Thank you. Bless you.